So today, we're gonna take a look at an incredibly powerful Minecraft plugin called Typewriter. Now, while Typewriter might promote itself as a next generation questing plugin for Minecraft, in reality, it is a lot more than that. I mean, yes, it allows you to create custom quests, but also NPC dialogues and cinematic events. Basically, Typewriter is a plugin that provides you with all the tools so you can make an incredibly immersive story inside of Minecraft. But even if making a story is not your goal, this plugin is so immensely cool, it might be worth taking a look at it. So today I'm gonna try to give you a little overview of this plugin and showcase some of its features. Quite frankly, this plugin is way too big to fully cover in one video because it has so many options. But at the end you will at least know how to install it for yourself, how to get started, and roughly what the plugin can do. So the installation of Typewriter is not as easy as you might think, so pay close attention. I will of course leave a link to this Modrinf page in the description of the video. Over here you simply want to click on download, select your Minecraft version, and after that your platform, which can be either Purple or Paper, and then the download will automatically start. Now that's the first important thing to keep in mind. It is a paper plugin, meaning that it will only work on paper servers and forks of paper like Purple. It specifically uses the Paper API, so you can't use it on Spigot or any other server software that doesn't utilize the Paper API. Now another plugin you want to download is Packet Events. Of course, link can also be found down below. Simply go to download, select your game version, and then once again your platform, which in my case is going to be Paper, and then we download this one. Drag both into the plugins folder of your Minecraft server and give it a quick little restart. Now after your server has restarted, you should see a Typewriter folder appear inside of the plugins folder of your Minecraft server. And when you open that folder, you will see two files. We got a config.yml and an extensions folder. Now the extensions folder, we actually want to add something here because the Typewriter plugin has a bunch of extensions, and one of these extensions is necessary for basically anything to work. So what you want to do on Modrinf is navigate to versions, then you want to click on the version you downloaded. In my case that is 0.6.1, and then you want to scroll down to the bottom until you see files. This is the plugin itself, the one we just downloaded and installed, but these are all extensions. Now, you can see there is a basic extension, but there's also a citizens extension, an entity extension, mythic mobs extension, superior skyblock is here, vault is here, so that's for your economy, world guard as well. It is really cool. For this video, we will just be taking a look at the basic extension because, well, we need it for the plugin to do pretty much anything. So let's click on download and then upload it to the extensions folder of Typewriter. So here we go, mine is in there, this is the path, and this is where you want to put it. Then simply reboot the server again, and it should say something along the lines of loaded extensions and then basic extension. If this is what you see, it has been loaded successfully and we can move on to the next step. Now the next part will be setting up the web panel so we can actually start using it. And the web panel is an essential part of the Typewriter plugin. Without the web panel, you can't pretty much do anything. There is a very annoying downside of this web panel though, and that is that your Minecraft server will need 2 additional open ports to get it working. Now, how many ports you have available and how you can open new ones, that all depends on where you are hosting your Minecraft server. I host my Minecraft server at Alienhost, who you might recognize as being my channel partner. They offer amazing servers for great prices, and if you want to check them out, I will leave a link to their website down below. And if you use code KASASORA at checkout, you can get a whole 20% off of your first month, which of course also helps me out along the way. But here at Alienhost on the left side, we have a tab called Network. And in there you can see with my plan, I can create a total of 5 allocations. So I have this one. This is the one people need to join my Minecraft server. I'm just gonna create 2 more by clicking on Create Allocation twice. There we go. Now we have 2 more ports open and available. Now these 2 port numbers I have to remember because we're now going to add them to the config of Typewriter. So you want to go to the Typewriter folder again. So the same place where we added the extensions before. And now we want to go to the config.yml. And in there you should see just this. But we're going to replace this. So I will leave a link in the description of this video that will take you to this page of the Typewriter documentation. Now over here we have some text that we need to paste inside of the config.yml file. So I'm simply simply gonna copy this text by clicking on this little icon in the top right. And then I'm gonna select all the information that's currently in there and replace it with the text I just copied. Now what we want to do is replace the host name with the IP of our server. So for me, this is gonna be the host name. So I'm simply gonna click to copy, then paste it in and remove the port because the port is not a part of the host name. And then here at the WebSocket and the panel, we need to change these ports. So remember the two ports we opened before, you want to fill those in here. So for me it is 25689 and this one is going to be 25698. Now we can simply save content and give the server another little reboot. Then the final step to completing the installation of this plugin is typing Typewriter connect in chat. And you want to press enter and it will open this little book with a link. You want to click on the link and then click on yes. And if you set everything up correctly, it will take you to this page. And this is the most impressive part of this entire plugin. So here on the web panel, we're able to create stuff. We're able to create anything we want. And this is also where the tutorial becomes a little hard because I don't know what you want. I have no clue what you want to create. So showing exactly what you want to create is probably gonna be impossible. Which is why I'm gonna show you the basics and trying to give you a feel of what this plugin can do. So the first thing we're gonna do is create a page. Now the page you can give a name. This can be anything. I'm gonna call it subscribe because it would be incredible if you guys could do that. And then here you have numerous types of pages you can create. So there's a sequence, static, cinematic, and manifest. Now I'm gonna go for sequence, and I'll be taking a look at some of the other ones later in the video. But let's create a sequence and let's click on add. And there we go. We got a page. Here on the left you can see all of the pages you've created. Currently we just have one. And what we can do now is we can add entries here. Now like I mentioned, the possibilities with this plugin are pretty much endless. But let's start out with something very, very simple. When I right click a stone inside of Minecraft, I want to get a levitation effect. Okay? That's it. So how do we do that? Well, we're simply gonna click on add entry. And here you will get a gigantic list with different entries or triggers you can add. So this can be anything. You can see there are so many options. But I want to make it so when I interact with a stone block, I get levitation. So I'm gonna type interact and here we go. Add on interaction with block. When the player interacts with a block. That is what we want. So we're gonna click on plus and there it is, our brand new entry. So I'm gonna call it Stone Touch. This is just a name. You can make it anything you want. Now here we can then select a block. So currently it's air. Let's not make it air. Let's make it stone. But of course you can choose any block that you want. You can do something like a diamond or a beacon or bedrock, but we're gonna go for stone. So simple stone, that's it. Add it. Bam, done. Now you can add a specific location. So currently the location is disabled. If I would enable location, I would make it so that I have to interact with a certain stone block in the world. So a stone block located at 0, 0, 0. If I disable location though, it can be any stone block. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I think this is perfect. Kasasura touches stone, something happens. Now, what will happen? Well, that is what we're gonna specify now. So all the way at the bottom, we got a link with button. So we're gonna click on that one. And now we can add a new entry, which is gonna be the thing that happens when we touch the stone. So it can be a potion effect. That is what we are gonna go for. But you can also do a cinematic or run a console command or add a delay action, add a drop item so that it drops an item at your location. It can be anything. But let's do potion effect because why not? Now this one I'm gonna call fly. And the potion effect we're gonna change into levitation, just like that. Now the duration you can change, the amplifier you can change. You can also change if you want the particles to show or not. Even the icon you can disable if you want. Now I'm gonna disable the particles because they are super annoying. And bam, you're done. That's it. We have created a page, which is called subscribe, that has an on interaction with block entry. That makes it so that when I touch stone, it will trigger. And this is the thing, it will trigger a potion effect. I think this is pretty straightforward stuff. So now to actually save it and make it apply to my game, I'll go all the way to the top right of the screen where it says staging. When I hover it, it will say publish. Production done. Now it's live, which means when now in Minecraft, I go look for a stone. There we got some. Let's go over there and I right click the stone block. Here it is, beautiful stone block. I right click it. There we go. We're flying. We're flying now. It's as easy as that. But of course, this is one of the simplest examples possible. This plugin is capable of so much more. You can of course add a bunch more entries and triggers to this list so that a lot more happens when you, for example, click on a stone. But let's make it a little bit more interesting. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place a stone over here. This will be the levitation stone. So I'm gonna stand on top of this stone, and then here on the web panel, I'm gonna click on the touch stone entry, and here I'm gonna enable the location, and I'm gonna select this little camera button. So I'm gonna click on it, and there we go. It has now grabbed my location in game. That is incredibly handy. Now, of course, the stone itself is located one Y level lower, because this is where I'm standing. I'm standing on top of the stone, so the Y level is actually 63. But okay, here we got it. This is the location where I have to interact with the stone. That's perfect. Now you can see other stone doesn't do anything anymore. I'm clicking, nothing happens. Click on this one, and there we go. We're flying. So now what I want to do is I want to make sure we can find this stone from far away. And we can do that by adding a road network. Now making a road network is going to be a little bit more complicated, but I feel like it is a very important feature to show because this is where the plugin really shows its strength. We're going to create a new page. And this page we're gonna call road to stone. Now the page type you want to set to static, not sequence like before, static page, otherwise it will not work. So click on add, and then we're gonna add a new entry, which is gonna be add base road network. So we're gonna click on plus, and there it is. Now you can give it the name, this can be anything. I'm gonna call it stone path. And over here you will see the artifact ID. Now the ID itself is not that important, but this little icon here is. Because while before we could use it to request our location in game, we can now use it to open content mode in game. And content mode is really powerful. So we're gonna click on it. There we go. It's in production. And now when we open our game, you can see we have a ton of tools in our hands. It will also say editing road network. And yes, indeed, game. That's what we're gonna do. So we can now add new nodes. And nodes are basically just locations in the world that are connected to each other. So I'm gonna create one node here. Not on top of the stone, which is gonna be our objective, but relatively close to it. I'm gonna stand here and I'm gonna create a node. Just like that. There it is. Now, after creating a node, we have a few different options. We can increase or decrease its radius. And you can see the radius can be pretty big. Now, in case you're wondering, Kasai, what is the radius? What do I need it for? The radius is basically only going to be useful as soon as you're going to do pathfinding. But we're going to skip that for now. Here we got one node, but let's create some more. So I'm going to go to this location. I'm going to right click again, and there we go. Now we have another node. Simply click to save the changes, and then on the right side you can go back to the previous editor. So now we're back in the main menu, and if we want, we can create another node. So we can maybe create one over here. Right click, there we go, beautiful. So we got 3 nodes right here. Now to make sure that all of these nodes are actually connected to each other, we want to use the redstone in our inventory, because this redstone will recalculate all the edges. So when we right click with the redstone, you will first have to wait for a bit because there's a lot to calculate, but there we go. You see that? You see the particles coming from that node? Well, that is because it is connected to this one. Now you can see there are some particles between this node and this node. You can clearly see they are connected to each other, but there are no particles between this node and that one over there. So why is that? Well, that's simply because that node is too far away. 30 is the magic number of this plugin. A node will always check 30 blocks around itself to see if it can find anything to interact with. And because these two are not more than 30 blocks apart from each other, they are connected. But these two nodes are just a little bit too far away. So how do we solve this? Well, we create another node in between these two. Right click, recalculate edges, and there it is. Now you can see from this node to this one we have particles, from this node to this node we have particles, and this node of course also still has particles to this one. So all of this path is now officially connected, and it's great. Now we can of course make this path a lot bigger. We only have 4 nodes right now, but this plugin is very efficient and capable to have crazy long paths. You might wonder, what is the limit? Well, there is none. It can be infinite, which of course is not really true, but you don't have to worry about the limit. It is so high, you won't reach it. Now, I did a little world editing just to make sure the visualization in the next portion of this video is gonna be more clear. Now that we've created the road network and we have an objective, so a place we want the road network to lead players to, we can now actually start visualizing the road with a path stream. Now, a path stream can be added in multiple different ways. I'm just gonna show you the simplest one of them all. So what we're gonna do first of all is create once again a new page. Now you can call it whatever you want. I'm gonna call it path, and this time we're gonna make a manifest page. And for those wondering, Kasasara, can I not just do this on one of the other pages? No, you cannot. All of these 4 page types are different at their core. We now want to add a path stream, and a path stream can only be added on a manifest page. And because we don't have one yet, we're gonna create it. So simply click on add, and now we're simply gonna add an entry, and we're gonna search for path stream. Now you can see there are 6 different ways to add a path stream. But the easiest one of them all definitely is this one, the direct location path stream. So we're gonna simply add it, and then the first thing you want to do is give it a name. So I'm gonna call it Stone Path Stream, and then you want to select a road network. Now we have created the stone path, which is the name of the road network we made. So I'm simply gonna select that one, and then here we need a target location. So back in game, we're gonna go to our beautiful stone. We're gonna stand on top of it, just like that. And then we're gonna click on the little camera button, which will then grab our in-game location. And there we go. Now, even though the location of the stone is on Y63, for the path stream, you want to keep it Y64. Because the path stream doesn't work when it is obstructed by another block. So you can put the target location in front of the actual location or on top of it, but not in the block itself. After we've done that, we can simply publish our changes. And when we now go back in game, you can see there are particles leading me the way. Now, you might think to yourself, Kasasara, how does this exactly work then? We just made a whole path that goes from there all the way to here. But now particles are just leading you straight to that location. So what was the whole path for? So let me just open my road network settings real quick. This is my current road network. You can see all the way from here to over there. Now this target I've set is in range of this road network, and that is why we can use it. Now when is something in range? Something is essentially in range when it is not more than 30 blocks away from a node. So my road is over here. When I would go to a random location here somewhere in the forest, you will see there are no longer any particles leading me the way. But when we go in this direction, eventually you will start seeing some particles again. There they are. You see them? I start seeing particles again, even though we are really far away from the stone. And that is because of the road network. These particles are basically just following the road network. I stumbled upon the road and it's now telling me, hey, there is something over there. If I would be this far away, but then on the other side, so somewhere inside of that forest, I would not see these particles. I can now only see them because this is where I created that road network. And these particles will make it so I will cross every single one of those nodes I placed down. So by following this path, every single node I will tick off until I'm at my target location, which we can of course right click and we have levitation again. Now this is still a very basic setup. What you can also do is make it so that a path stream doesn't go to one fixed targeted location, but instead it will always go to your next objective. And then you can make a massive road across your entire map, basically leading your players from one location to the other, having them complete certain tasks, and that way let them experience an entire story. And I know I'm just scratching the surface right now, because this plugin is so massive, it is not all coverable in one video. You can see how much stuff there is. There are just so many options. You're also able to do stuff with dialogue, looking at a certain block or in a certain direction. Hopefully you now at least have somewhat of an idea of what this plugin can do and what it is capable of. Anyhow, that's gonna be it for today. Do make sure to subscribe to my channel, join my Discord. Thank you so much, channel members. And then I will see you in the next one. Bye bye, see you later, bye bye.